Okay, we can call the meeting to order.
The meeting is called to order at whatever time it is.
It's 9:13. Yep.
I would like to approve the minutes if everyone's read them and has no questions. Okay.
Approve minutes. Karen, second.
Okay.
Do we approve, Tara? All approve?
Approve.
Okay.
On the next element on the agenda is this committee goals for 2021 and remaining of this year, which is negligible, and then next year. And Tara, I'm going to send you a document. It's a short thing regarding the planning strategies for what we're looking to try to do for next year. I have prints here, but let me email this to you.
Should I just take a picture and send it to her?
Oh, good idea.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's this right here, right?
Yeah, well, I have it. Here it comes, Tara.
Oh, you sent it already?
Right.
Okay.
Technology.
Yeah. So when Robert and I spoke the other day, we were just kind of saying, I think it's a good idea for all of us to think forward and get excited about what we can do in the next year, and use this meeting as sort of a brainstorm session. Right.
And also, one of the reasons obviously because of COVID, because of our stall on the capital campaign and stall on an event, we realized that there's still an opportunity, just like we talked, I think at the last meeting, smaller events. But the reason it's important right now is I need to follow up with Brenda Kupchik, and I'm not going in there unless we have we're implementing some kind of protocols, because she's going to ask, what since July, what have you developed? So once we have some a loose outline based on what the sheet says, I think then I'm ready to go back, because I want to find out when she vetted the contracts, if she found any funds that she said she would for a budget for Burr, and also try to let them have Jackie coordinate with hopefully our web
presence,
because we need to do that, right?
Yeah.
Now, who's in charge? Who wants to coordinate the hire?
Well, I have a question that you might know the answer to. Ellen says she's working on the website. What does she mean by that?
I've been meeting with her, but I think she means the landing page, but I don't think she means the architecture. Writing. It's not writing software.
Like the design that she will then share.
There's stuff that she could share to the designer.
Correct.
Right. All right, because I was confused about that as well.
Yeah, visual concepts.
Okay.
There's also the narratives that were written years ago.
Yes.
That she's editing and would import into the new website, just to clean it up a little bit, because there's a lot of narrative that's available from previous committees that we can use.
I think we basically have everything. Maybe a few photos. Photos would be good, but I generally think
yes, and I asked Sarah from Fresh Flower Bar for two photos, because she did a wedding. She staged a wedding there in October. That the central axis, she did that, the urn and surrounding area. It's spectacular. I've never seen the garden look so good. So I want to use that image as well. So she said she would share it. But as far as this event programming, I think we should look at it kind of globally initially, like a broad stroke, and think of it in quarterly terms: spring event, summer, fall, winter, and then within those time slots or categories, we need to think of specific events for children, specific events for adults, and specific events for families.
Yeah.
And then so every quarter we have at minimum one child, one adult, one family event for every quarter, which would be great. I mean, like, and they could, like we discussed before, they can be quite simple. You know, it doesn't have to be, you know, we're not talking about bands and,
Right.
and hors d'oeuvres. You know, it
No.
could be a plein air exercise. It could be the kids on a walk
Yeah.
through the gardens and historic, point out this historic,
Or
elements.
make a birdhouse.
They could be- right, make a-
Birdhouse. I mean, how easy is it to get
Yeah.
like material? to
It
do
could
that?
even be like the cleanup day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Clean up
Well,
too, right?
I mean, it
there's
can
a
be
lot
dual
to learn.
purpose,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Because that's that troop. When we talked about the maintenance troop, as I called it, I was hoping that we would implement this on a regular basis, whether it's monthly, just a group together,
Right.
you know, and come in and see what needs to be tended to. Because obviously, the work that was done on the central axis
Lasted, yeah.
held up.
Yeah.
So obviously, we could, if we have this program established, we can start spreading out a little bit and tackling other quadrants of the garden, which would be a good thing.
I love the idea of doing it quarterly, and I wonder if we might be, as a small committee, if we might be better off starting with like a spring calendar and a fall calendar.
Yeah.
And then if we can pepper in, I'm just thinking about what we can actually commit to and accomplish.
Right.
Do you know?
Yeah, and you know, in between
I don't
those
know. I'm
times-
not-
No, it's fine. I mean,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
just, we definitely need to think seasonally,
Yes.
whether it's
Right,
a
right.
chunk, like, school year,
Yeah.
It's important, I think, to have some lens on it.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I mean, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah. Oh, and the other thing you could do on the off times are, I think when I was on the board of the Alvin years ago, we used to do a day where everyone got friends to host an event that day, and whatever money contributions they
Oh.
got, so they could have a cocktail party, they could
Like a
have
virtual
they could
event?
have a tennis,
Oh, cool.
match.
Yep.
Whatever they wanted to have,
Right.
wine tasting.
Yeah.
They would ask for donations or they would charge
Yep.
to come to the event, and then it was all on that day or a weekend. So that's something that is low
Impact.
low effort,
Yeah.
really, but you're getting
Right.
money coming in.
Right.
Right.
And
Building
it's
up your
spreading
friends to ask them to
awareness.
host these
Exactly.
things, but if they're going to play around golf, say, make
Yeah.
it benefit the Burr.
Right.
That round of
Exactly.
golf. So that's like low effort, and
Yeah.
you get some money.
That's what I think is what we need. And if
Right.
everyone can just jot down these concepts,
Right.
and we'll report back
Yeah.
at the next meeting, and we'll brainstorm. We'll see which ones require, if we want to implement them, what kind of development it requires, and then just start to
Who can take
implement
charge of
for the
them,
following
yeah.
year. Yeah.
And certainly people are much more aware of the town website now and how to navigate and the information that's on there now. And Brenda always has all that information about events going on
Yeah.
on her updates. So I think people are a little bit more aware.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is great.
And I think what they pointed out when Shane and I met with them this summer, Jackie in particular, the chief of staff, was pretty adamant about the importance of a Facebook page. She thought it was extremely important for a business.
Yeah. Right.
And I guess I agree. And it's certainly a way to
Oh no! The lawnmower just went on. If we lose you, if you can't hear us, Tara. Importance of but yes, for her to link to us, right, and help us. For Jackie to help us elevate our presence.
Yes, because she said that once we have something that she can work with and trumpet or magnify, it'll really benefit us because she was willing to utilize the town's resources to advertise our page.
My apologies.
Yeah.
Did you get the Tara? Did you see that Tara's trying to get on?
Yes, she's in.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you.
In terms of the web, admittedly, I haven't looked into the designer that you sent. Laura was so good and sent feedback and the website.
Yes.
Do we need to get like a second quote or reach out to somebody else, or can we just go with a known quantity who's easy to work with and does good work?
What was the?
She was very inexpensive.
How much?
Yeah, I want to say it was like 700 to 1,000 or something.
It's under 1,000.
Yeah.
That is so annoying.
I know. We were just bad timing.
You know, my son is a coder. He codes
Oh.
professionally. And he does freelance work. I mean, I could ask him. Probably ask him.
Why
I don't
not?
know.
I think
Might
it's
go with
always,
somebody.
I think it's always nice to have a comparison.
What?
Can we get a friend or family?
Yeah, right? I don't know. Let's see
But
what
no,
he
that
says.
was great.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't want to say it before and he's like, oh, really? But he really is.
Yeah.
But I did.
I mean, I feel like it's always nice to have a second
Yeah.
comparison, right?
I sent you junk art notes because it's like, I just
Yeah.
think this and I just think it's like a well-oiled machine and I love that website.
Oh, the website.
Yes.
I cut, cutting and pasting, copy and paste.
Oh, you have?
Several different gardens in the States.
Yeah.
And when you look at the program, the way they fund, not just like the
Oh, I know.
It's really sophisticated.
It is.
It's simple, but sophisticated.
No, it
It's
is.
just figuring out what fits,
For us.
Fairfield and
What's
Burr.
realistic for us?
Yeah.
Although, don't forget,
Because if we can drive a lot of revenue, once we're established, through Facebook, through social media,
Yeah.
it becomes a lot less painless. It's much more painless for us. No wear and tear on us with fun.
right.
And you can
My
make
guess is you can't hear. Can you hear?
through social media, just
No.
Which is what the museum does so beautifully.
Yeah. I think we need to speak way up for Tara if she can even hear
You want
us.
to put her.
Yes. I'm going to move you closer to Robert. Closer to the center. If I can still get the Wi-Fi. I always sit over here to feed off their Wi-Fi.
Wow. So,
We were talking about the website, and Laura's son's a coder, and she will ask him for a price as well.
so we would want someone to create the website, but not to run it. You're not looking for someone to administer it, are you?
No.
We do have to register and we pay a fee for registering, like I think it's $150 a year to have a website.
Yeah.
And who pays?
Someone would have to monitor that.
But who would pay?
Right. And who will update it?
There's a site that you pay for, I guess.
I mean, like, you have to get the secure domain.
Like,
Like, somebody has to host it.
No, she sent all that information.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's actually pretty.
I think we should all go back and re-review that proposal.
$1.
okay.
Then the hosting is generally built in, base hosting, built into the yearly cost for the domain.
Well,
But then depending on what add-on you
It's
want.
$14.99 a month
Yeah.
for hosting, and then you register your domain $16 a month.
And what? Oh, okay.
1/6.
1/6. It's like nothing. Yeah.
It says that we were silent. Computer is silent.
Can you hear us, Tara?
this is a waste of your time.
I know. I'm sorry.
No,
Frozen.
no, you shouldn't be sorry.
If your light turned on, you
Put
would
it around it.
Okay.
You're circling what happened.
I know. I don't want to waste your time. This is just bad timing. Do you want to brainstorm events now, or do you want us to go back and? I feel like brainstorm the event ideas.
That'll at least, it'll kickstart the thought process.
Basically 750 to 1,000.
Yeah.
For to build a website and Instagram and a Facebook account.
That's so affordable.
Okay. So, I'll throw it out.
Why not? It's nice to always have a second option.
Yeah, let's try to do some quick brainstorming regarding these events.
Like we talked about garden walks.
About
I was supposed to ask Jackie and I didn't. And I'll confirm. I kind of feel like we can't do anything now anyway. Until we have like a real concept. I worry if...
No, well, I think that's the protocols. They're within the protocols. It might be outdoors.
Yeah.
As long as we're working within the mandated protocols, it's fine. Because even this summer, when we were here meeting, the museum had a theater camp or a children's camp.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of kids out there.
For the jazz, right.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, we're probably not looking at hosting anything until 2021, right?
I don't think
So
we can-
I don't know that it's even worth.
I don't think it's too early.
And I think if I ask Jackie now if we can host events in 2021,
Yeah.
she's going to say, "Well, let's see."
Yeah.
Jackie is manager of the
Chief
Burr.
of staff?
No, Jackie says she's the staff.
Oh,
So
Brenda,
Alice.
Yes.
Allison, right. And we want to ask Allison, I think. I don't think Jackie has anything to do with it.
It's hosting events on town property,
On town property.
public
Well,
events.
Allison could probably say that too. Anyway, yes.
Yes.
Ask both.
My tie. I remember a friend saying, enter what I put in that email.
So when we have something concrete, we can ask Jackie if
Right.
it's, and Allison. I think it's both of them
Well,
probably.
yeah, and it is
it's
time.
both of them.
Yeah, and it's time sensitive because month to month, the requirements for public gatherings might change. So, you know,
Yeah, it's two separate
We have to be
questions.
fluid,
It's
yeah.
are we able to host this event, and then for Allison, it's is the Burr rented for the stay?
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think they've had much here.
And what would we do? You know, would it be, we did a movie last time, that's a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, it could be outdoors.
It's getting warmer.
We also need to be thinking outdoor events as well.
Right, movie screening. Right, I think that's the perfect one to start with. A movie screening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to be dark though. You know what I mean? We have to be late. Don't forget now,
But
I
time
mentioned this
changes,
before,
in a
but
week,
my coder son is also a professional musician. And he does
Yes.
have several bands he plays in, but he does do, you know, jazz or whatever kind of stuff. I mean, that could be something too. Just to have like
Music.
a cocktail hour with music, live music. I don't know how the music would project.
Here, they could be right here.
They could be right
Right
here.
here, like a little bandstand.
Could make it very easy.
I could literally, the event could be staged right here.
Yeah.
This screen in front of the center, it would be perfect.
Yeah.
Because it's a small enough area and you could space the people appropriately. And it could be like an event for like 30 people.
Exactly.
It's not going to be huge. And your son, the band member, the band leader, can then help promote it. Because I'm sure he's got a lot of connections with his social media accounts.
Yeah, but that would be so uncool. The Burr Gardens. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, we can always color it with it's
This
a
is where we were.
fundraiser for a nonprofit.
Right.
He's a millennial,
It
kind
could
of,
be
right?
very low cost too if you told people to bring their own chairs.
Yep.
And,
Bring their own chairs. Bring their own
yeah, whatever they want.
And
refreshments.
then, you know,
Yeah.
Remember I was telling you about my daughter is
And people are itching to get out.
Yeah.
So she manages this artist in New
Oh,
Haven.
yeah.
He's in the stratosphere. Now Gagosian Gallery picked him up. So
wow.
he's showing right now.
Gagosian has? Wow.
Way out there. He did Time magazine cover, right? Did you know
Yeah.
that?
Well, you showed me.
Yeah, oh did we?
Yeah.
Titus-
The work is really cool. These are
So-
great artists.
So
What-
it's like, but he's now like, my daughter said, everybody wants a piece of him. CBS came out and they did an interview. They're gonna run that soon.
Where's the studio?
New Haven.
New Haven.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, he's local. He
Oh,
is
well.
local. But I don't know. Like, I don't know
What?
at this point. I don't know because we had talked about like bringing. I was thinking, okay, you've got newspaper stuff, but you need something to draw people to,
Yeah.
like a sculpture or something.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, you know, you say that.
He
What
might
you
be
say that-
untouchable now.
No, you say that the
Something
hybrid,
big, yeah.
when the restrictions
Something really big.
are kaput.
Yeah.
Because what would be really cool would be to take have an event, the band in the
Oh, in the building.
with an art
Right, with even
with like 5-4 things, whatever.
just yeah, a
some
few
of
of his
this-
pieces.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
that would be unbelievable.
I don't know if that was.
You know who we
Are they
promised?
large scale works? How big are they?
They are
They're
big.
big. Yes.
But I think it's more, you know, gallery restrictions and
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
And you may have preparatory sketches that we might have access to rather than
Possibly.
thing. And you could, there may be collateral materials that we could poster and just tell the story of this, you know, Genesis and on. I mean, there's a lot of interesting things.
I think you're thinking really big, and I wonder. I like the idea of the art here, but I wonder if there's a way we can even start smaller, like.
Well, this was post-COVID.
Post-COVID,
Yeah, we
but
can-
but no, I'm even thinking like, can we work with a local gallery or something, or
Well-
because people aren't going to want to go into small galleries. Can they do like an outdoor opening
Yeah,
or something,
well-
or even like a university program? Fairfield U's, I don't know,
Uh,
art majors
when we were
showing their
talking
final
about-
project. I don't know.
When we were talking about the fall, or whatever that, I don't even remember that one, this summer event.
Right.
I actually talked with, I wanted to do an installation piece. I talked to her, she's New York gallery and lives in Fairfield now. I think she may have, the gallery is on her property here, but she is a New York gallery as well. And she talked about having me meet several of her artists and see what could be developed for an installation.
Where's her gallery?
New York and here where she lives on her property here in Fairfield, between New York and
Okay.
Fairfield.
Okay.
Her husband is a tennis pro, head tennis pro at Brook Farm.
Well, there's that new gallery in South Point Village.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't been in there yet.
No, but you know, they would be, you know, they might be more inclined because it's drawing
Yes.
people that are
Right,
in
and
the
then you
area.
can advertise.
And it's a great idea. Or Fairfield University.
Fairfield,
I love that.
I mean, I think if we outsource the programming, and not outsource the programming, but like really leverage partnerships in
I
the
agree.
community, and people will bring their people in. Like
Yep.
the Fairfield U or the gallery would bring their audience, and we'd bring our audience, and it's exposure for them. So there's benefit for them, and there's
Well,
benefit for us.
Then think about
And
what-
we're not doing the programming.
What
Like
kind
we're
of-
not,
right.
as a small committee,
Right.
overseeing like the installation of an exhibit. We can't do that, right? So we're telling someone else to do it. Right.
Correct.
Well, Kelsey and, you know, Kelsey Biggers and Susan.
Yeah.
So they're probably still connected with artists. I mean, they might, you know.
No, we know who was connected. It was his partner,
It was Jen.
Miller, at the
Okay.
university.
Oh, Eliasoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But you know who's really connected, and I've already talked to her about that too, is, I mean, she's like world-class art rep. And she
Oh,
called
yeah.
meetings, told me when we're ready, like when we have this garden up to snuff.
She could help us
She
out.
promised, she said, if you want a Sarah, I can get a Sarah. She said, these got them sitting in warehouses. They haven't been exhibited for a decade
Yeah.
or more.
Oh.
And she said,
Oh, that's cool.
do exactly, a summer installation, just a way like this. So we have a lot going, potential, but I think we have to, our garden and our reading have to match
Right.
what it is.
We have to get there.
Showcase. Because we can't, you can't put a Sarah in a fraggle.
Of course.
Yeah. But one other thing that that I came across, that I'm not quite sure how to do it, is a tie-in with the BMW dealership, because Jess and Mitch, Nick has got Mitch, they're members of the yacht club, he owns the BMW.
He has a brain.
I know. No, I know with him last month. Yeah, he's doing okay.
Okay.
He's responding well, and I don't think he's doing okay. Yeah. But I think that's a business that we're certainly interested in now.
Really?
You're very generous with the community.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
So we just have to think of an event that would
Right, that would work for
him
them.
as well.
Did Tara leave or come in?
Let's go back to just a spring event.
Right.
We had music. What else could we do? Could we approach a small gallery like the one in Southport Village and just say, hey, would you like to showcase some of your art?
Well, you didn't want to put a few of that over there?
And how would that?
I didn't hear what Karen
How would
said.
that
I said, I'd be happy to go over and open there and chat with him.
Yeah.
be realized? Like, what if we were sort of establish a partnership so she's interested in the art gallery program? What do we provide for her? And where do we exhibit? How do we promote?
Right. Well, I think the first conversation would be, are you willing to do it?
Yeah, but you have to.
Indoors, probably for the art.
I know, but I don't think we should be approaching anyone
Until we have
unless
the.
we know exactly what we're. You can't ask them for something and then say, "I'll get back to you and see if we're working."
Yeah, we need to
have
wait.
To know it can work before we get it,
Right.
because otherwise
The mic is off again.
Again?
We're talking about spring, right? I think that's
Yeah.
spring.
Yeah. See,
I don't know why it keeps going off.
I know. You just don't know.
All right, I'm not touching it, so I don't even know why it keeps doing that.
So,
Hey, she may represent, well, she may not be a real artist, doesn't have, sculpture that is specifically setting the landscape, which would help us right now with this period where we don't have to worry about walking in the house and running into the protocols. We can put it in the garden.
who knows what the protocol is going to be in March?
Right.
May, whatever. You know,
Yeah.
we don't know. But I would say that if you're doing it in the spring, it should be indoors because the weather's too iffy in the spring.
Yes.
If it's nice, you can bring people out, but I would stage it inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe you can find out the sort of what our parameters are right
Right.
now, and then we can approach the gallery.
Sure.
And then I could, if we get a date, I could talk to my son.
Right.
And
That would be great.
And if the protocol is still being enforced, we could do something like people on library did for their book sale, the small book sale they have. We book times, a 1 hour time slot.
Yeah, we'd have to do like for them to walk
So we
through
could
time participation.
Online sign up, they
10
book
people at a
time,
time.
Whatever it is. This way you can manage the control, the possible people
Right.
attending. And we don't, because our office is here, we want to be
if
very
we need to.
respectful.
I mean,
Right.
if we're allowed.
But we
50
have to
people,
prepare. See, I think it'd be better to be cautious and assume we will have to do it. Because if we don't have to touch it, at least we already figured it out. But, and if we don't need it, we just cut it off. But if we don't, if we haven't thought about the strategy of bringing this thing together in a COVID environment, it's like it's too close to the event.
Yeah.
I'd rather just assume. I don't
Plan
I think,
for precautions.
Yeah, I think we're going to be some kind of COVID restriction through next spring. I do. I mean, let's keep it out here again.
I also think it's going to be a long time before people are like willing to go out to group events
Yeah. Like big
without
group events.
without there being like a safe
Yeah.
parameter,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Yeah.
I do think people that are working and have children in school
Yeah.
feel that they already are exposed to that.
Oh.
Yes.
Or really probably not doing a lot
Yeah.
outside and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Until the vaccine arrives.
Well, but also the flip side is
Oh, they start
we
giving
could
everyone
try to
shots in general.
This is so annoying.
we could try to continue on the movie thing, find another movie and do that. I mean, that would probably instead of
like the movie idea. I think it's probably easy to.
Yeah, a documentary, something
A
short.
documentary.
Like,
I don't know.
how long was the Duran? Was that like an hour?
I think so. Less than an hour.
Yeah. So that's probably what we're
Just
I don't think you can sell it 90 minutes. I think it's a little bit much.
an idea about the movie too
It's outdoors.
is
Indoors on the
when if we have to rent a projection screen and all of, like when the yacht club did the family movie night, we could do it so like on Friday night it's a documentary, and then on Saturday night
right.
it's like the Lorax, and kids and families can come.
Right.
Like you do it to like
Right.
an adult movie screening and a kid movie screening.
When did you start it? What time of day?
It was like the movie started at 8
8 o'clock.
because
like-
it was dark. It depends when we do it, right? So if we do it in, I think the first year they did it in June, and they started later, and it was better attended. And the second year they did it in August, and while it got dark later,
Like we did before. But,
I don't-
you know, because then, I don't know, it's going to feel full because you
Right.
have a ton of people. But the problem is going to be seating.
yeah,
Because you could have a screen right here. And have
yeah, people bring their own blankets and sit out.
Yeah.
I just think that, honestly, for a fundraiser, I think because it's dark, people won't.
Well,
I think it's
there's
gonna-
another way around what the way show it, you know? That you try the way you did it, traditionally, show it, that's fine.
Yeah.
We could set up monitors that find somebody donating or don't monitor. In each room, large ones, 70, 80 monitors. Now put them in the, but literally book each room, so you have the same thing.
Playing in both spaces. Yeah.
Right? And then you get out downstairs, upstairs, downstairs. So you get more wasn't perfect.
Right.
But,
That sounds expensive.
I know. Well,
This is like a comedy.
Yes.
Right? This is seriously.
actually, that's good. But
poor Tara. Does she want to sign off? I mean,
first,
We move inside.
no.
We're almost
I don't
done.
know. Yeah, we're almost done.
oh my God.
This is. I'm.
I've never.
I feel like I'm in
It's
one
their
of those,
yearly maintenance.
I know.
like arcades where you do a little going around. By the way, I wanted to say, I reached out twice to two different people at UConn with a master program.
Yeah.
I got
Nothing.
Zero. So I can have loads of emails, so I'm going to,
Know anyone yet?
no.
Do we know anyone that went to that program?
Well, it was Lisa Barton one piece about it. Yes.
Well, as a liaison, there, it says that they can run.
Oh, your mic is off again.
Oh my gosh! I don't know why it's doing that. I think it's a Wi-Fi. I wonder if it's no. It's on. Hold on. Tara's saying something.
Well, okay. Well, reach out to me. What way? What way? Yeah, right? Or
No, when I posted
Really, that'd be enough. Sorry, Tara.
that, like, helpful or not, or acceptable, but you kind of someone but maybe rather than tying up the time for one see, I had these, I think we made at least a 50 and have her non-explosive the one is going to be how cover for you with our grew up the fact that you can help, but then she coordinates them also based on how the client this way you grew up and I don't know.
I don't know how often they would come. I don't know if they come twice a season. I mean, I don't know.
But it's intense, I'm sure, when they're here.
Yeah.
Like,
Would be nice. Yeah.
so it would never be something that she would
Yeah,
find
involved
like a
in.
sit.
Yeah.
And speaking of the sis, I ran into Jennifer Downing,
I know she said that she was like,
and we talked for like 40 minutes on the road. You know, and I'm not watching tomorrow.
you are not.
So, you know, professional. Once again, so once in a while, there's a way we can engage without
What?
but it's going to be, it's not but he would be a great messenger.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, work my contact. I think that's why this strategic plan for next year is crucial, because it really means something. Because we're going to go in and throw a hand on it. We need to show there's an audience, there's effort. It's really important. I think we'll get support, but I can't just show up with a handout and then have it.
We're not doing anything, right?
Well, the garden are
Are you going to pick it tomorrow then?
well, we're going to just talk. Really know, feel her out, but it's what she wants to do. You know, I'm not sure, but I haven't. I really want to raise money. I want to go with money. I'm overpaying every process.
I think Sarah's going to time out.
I'm sorry. No problem.
I know that.
I think Mike sent them out.
No, I don't think so. He can't do that. No. So do we want to come up with?
We have to continue having outdoor meetings, so we might make a note that Thursday.
Thursday is the day of mowing.
I know. Well, it's getting cold for us anyway. Next Monday.
So do we want to plan for a fundraising event in June or May or June, and then some like friend-raising events around that?
Yeah, I think the friend-raising events are important because that will help strong up awareness, hope, but at least if we have a campus with that, we still have something that with the power of this little event.
Yeah.
And we can just continue that many of small events if we can close it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to have it stop starting. I really hope we can implement something
What is this?
You know, there's a stupid thing called an Easter egg tree. Mark still in the they just hang Easter eggs in plastic lines, and sometimes they decorate on a tree. And it's kind of weird, but kids would love it. I mean, it's a really good thing for
This
kids.
is a kid thing? Okay.
Right? It's a family thing.
A
Yeah.
family thing. And then what do you do with them?
A little fundraiser, I thought.
Yeah, a friend. Yeah, to bring people. You mean to decorate the tree?
Yeah.
Oh, they make Easter egg trees? They make Easter egg? Oh, they bring eggs to go on the tree.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it would be fun. 'Cause
Yeah.
then they can, you could have you could take their photos and post them. You know, that would love that. And see, that gives us fodder for Facebook. So that's, we really need that well. And anything we deal with, why? Oh, I love that. And we'll do split cleanup.
You know, I wonder how do you think it's going to feel about us doing events like that?
Taking ownership.
I know. And that's what I said to you, that I was trying to say to you yesterday. I think we have to be careful that we're not doing like educational public events that
What educational?
that aren't geared specifically towards raising awareness and raising funds at the garden, right? Like that's our charge.
Sure.
And
Exactly. I agree.
otherwise we loop them in and we ask them to partner on something, and maybe they're doing a historic talk to kids or something, and it's co-presented by the museum and the garden.
Right. But you know, I have to do with that, as I expressed to Brenda, and Brenda really understand. See the very sympathetic. There's something wrong.
It does. The green over there. I don't think you really need to get started.
Yes. Yeah. I wonder though if we can actually leverage things like that and have a presence at the Burning of Fairfield events.
Yes.
Like leverage things that are already happening and have an audience
Exactly.
and work with the museum.
Exactly.
What way?
See,
That they're using the garden, they're coming through here.
take ownership of the garden.
what
Be
way,
the
though?
face of the garden.
I don't know yet, but right, are we right?
We did, so before any of you guys, the Dogwood Festival, right? We did a booth. I had Oliver's deliver all this plant material. I had it all decked out. We printed up these really nice flyers.
Did we put them in the garden club?
And nada. Nothing. Absolutely zip. We manned it for 2 days. And it was such a zero.
Well, what were you
What was this?
They were
Was it just an
shopping. They
information
didn't
group?
move there. They walked right by. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You know, how do we, if we're going to participate, we can't just sit at the table and say, hi.
We're here. I know.
People don't do that. It was such a waste of everybody's time. So, it sounds good, but like you said, we do this because we do.
Yeah. You can do it colonial. But this is what the British drank, I think. Burn down all your homes.
All of that stuff I think,
Karen
like
say?
the graveyard thing, again, I'm not good with that.
Yeah.
I am not a good person to draw on that. But I feel like, look,
We can take something
instead
more
of doing
unique.
those family service things right now, I think we should be more focused on the garden and the garden, like we did with Kids for Us, the movie. You know, maybe we should have
Okay.
a speaker of a garden designer that knows in the area, and they can have a lecture.
I want to be careful though, you know why anymore? Because that's catering to an existing audience and not just the garden. But that's the garden thing.
Right.
You're So if there's a way we can broaden the
Yeah.
audience, yes, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Because I don't want to create it as
Yeah.
I don't want to create it
Right.
historic art, documentary, and that's a great thing, but we need to broaden the scope.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand that. I just think for fundraising, I don't know.
I don't think of it as fun. Yes.
Fundraising the fundraising.
We have to be building
Yeah,
our
we gotta do that.
presence.
So that's why the children, the families are really, really important.
Yeah.
Because for every 4 weeks of doing, they will help bring a couple more in.
Yeah.
But we don't, not.
I guess I've just been, we did the raffle, the quilt raffle. And we manned a booth, we sold tickets.
It's so much
for
work.
days.
It's so much work.
People come and then they go and that's it. They're done. They wait.
I do think I like your idea. I think that you're right though, and that we should stay focused on like what we do and who we are and the programs we're putting on.
Well, and
like
also
if we
how fluid the garden
right,
Yeah.
and it should be focused on the garden and the history of the garden, or like kind of not going beyond that.
Something like, and I know we were approached again before you guys. There was someone who wanted to do, how there's rooms with a view.
Yeah.
Look with like gardens. The garden thing, kind of like Chelsea.
The show house.
But that really does take a toll on the property.
Yeah.
But something like that could be kind of cool.
That's a nice idea.
Well, it's a calling card for these companies.
So, it doesn't have to be a ton of people. It can be 2. Just something, just something to attract, to attract the
No, I think that's
Yeah. Come see something new. It's temporary and special.
Huh?
a temporary vignette.
Yeah, and special. Like come. There's.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm
Like
not.
outdoor-
You guys can't hear me, so I'm just gonna stop.
Like Outdoor Living does at
Yes.
Southport
Yeah.
Congregational. They
Exactly.
set up on the front of the
Exactly.
church, big outdoor lounge.
Exactly.
Every year they do a different kind of lounge.
Is Tara even still there?
She's there.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But something like that, I think, could be really cool. That's taking a little bit of organization, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And that's a bigger event, I think.
Yeah.
You don't want to ask
Well,
these people
right, but
without drawing.
someone should take that and think about how you play it out. How many, like 3 to 5 persons. You want people to come, then you have to have probably at least
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
and maybe 5. And I think there's a lot of nurseries around here. And maybe some that are fought like native or some that are way out there. Want people to be familiar with them. This would be an opportunity,
Yeah.
calling card for them.
No, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
I think, Laura, that's great. I mean, and again, it's garden centric.
It is.
But it's contemporary and it brings people thinking about new ways to use it. It does a lot of things for,
Well, it's also not been
Greenscapes.
done.
Yeah.
yeah.
All the other things we're talking about,
Right.
you can recycle. But this is
Yeah.
something really
Yeah.
Right.
for a reason. It's probably because it takes a little bit of effort, but
Right. And you'd have to have parameters about what they
Can
could
do.
do, actually.
Right,
for
right,
sure.
right. Well, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and
that
if you
would be-
stake out a specific, like, 30 square feet or whatever it is, I mean, whatever,
But do you allow them to dig? No, I
No.
would say no. So
No,
they
they
have
can't
to
dig.
place it, and so it's
Is this all technically part of the gardens?
the Burr Gardens
The
goes
Burr
up
goes, the lot line,
that dumpsters us.
yeah.
All right, okay. So there's a lot of open space.
Oh, yeah, that's sculpture, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. And see, there are areas that are, not underutilized and or trampled.
Yeah.
That we could stage those kinds of, installs
Yeah.
on. So, I think it would be fun. And I think whoever wants to work on that, should look at the Southport Congregational Church's rooms of the youth staging, how they bring people in. That's what we need to maybe that's a it's obviously a workable model.
Right.
And we might at least want to start there and see how we need to
I mean,
morph it.
I would, rooms with a view, how many people are on the committee?
Oh, it's,
I'm not interested in
No.
doing that at all.
Yeah, but
but
see-
if we did something on a smaller
but the
scale.
reason that the committee's so large is it's not just
Well,
about
I know, the boutique.
the fashion
the-
show.
The preview
The-
They have a
party.
lot
look
of
at all the
events
food,
after
all that
Yeah.
food from all the restaurants.
Yeah.
That food court they set up on the first for several nights. There's a lot. I mean, there's just a
Yeah.
lot of strings.
Well, we could have an open
No.
reception and
Yes.
then have that.
Yeah.
And then
Have the garden. And then have it open for
the weekend, yeah, like
Yeah.
opening receptions Thursday night, and
Yeah.
Hopefully
Yeah, you
we
have
have
the
one.
permitting.
Have one that-
And you actually could have the receptions in the installs, so we don't have to do that in other states.
Yes.
Yeah.
The cocktail, right?
Yeah, the cocktail party would be outside.
Right,
Weather
yeah.
permitting is the
Right.
problem,
But
but yeah.
the drink, and we could host
Yeah,
at those vignettes.
When was that
Yeah.
in June?
I would think so.
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know that we could pull something off
for this year.
for this year. I don't know.
Well, we should try.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
I really like that
I like
idea.
that idea
I love
better
it.
I
than
think
the
it's very
summer school
unique.
thing or something.
Agreed.
I think that we might
Well,
get
it's
a better,
fresh.
yeah,
I
think
agree.
it's fresh.
People would be curious at the very least. Like, what is that?
Right.
Never heard of that kind of thing
Yeah.
before. Let's go check it
Yeah.
out. I agree.
I think people are really into their yards, their gardens, men and women.
Mhm.
And it could be a family thing.
Especially
They could
after
bring
this
their
COVID
kids.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yes.
And I know like outdoor living will jump at it because they are really, fast. They're very
Well, there's
agile. Those modern
How
outdoor
much?
entertainment
Yeah.
spaces.
How much are you asking them to do? Like, how big of an ask is this of a nursery?
Not much
To
because
stage it, they would have to. It's somewhat labor intensive. I mean,
Right.
you have to bring their materials. I mean, you have to build. I'm sure they would have to build structures. I'm just thinking.
well, no, they can use soft structure like hedges, like they do with some congregations.
Like they bring in their own
Yeah,
like
well, they bring in
boxwoods or whatever they bring in, and they
pie,
create
like,
their own.
They had a pyramid, an obelisks, big concrete.
And
obelisks.
it's all borrowed things. Like it's things they
Well,
can
it's
bring back to
theirs.
the nursery and
It's
sell.
theirs.
There.
They
Right.
bring
So
it-
they're not donating anything.
No,
it's
they're
not
selling. I mean, they're basically selling what they
What
can
they
sell,
do.
and it's a going
It's
cost.
labor intensive.
It is.
So that's the cost.
But if they do, think about it, if they do sell for the congregation, why wouldn't they want to change the audience? This would be a big
But it
problem.
is a huge audience that they're reaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's dwindled because people have gotten over it. I mean, it's
But
kind
I'm
of
just
25
thinking,
years. It's
there's
like,
a place called Native Nursery.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they specialize in pollinator gardens. So
Mhm.
we could have something like that.
Right.
Then we could ask someone to do a vegetable garden, like a
Right.
raised bed situation, which they have to do. Then we could
Outdoor
have a formal
entertainment.
garden.
Yeah. Like-
We could ask them to do different things.
Right.
I don't know.
No, I think that's
I think
smart.
that's a really good idea.
Yeah, no, I
actually
think
really like
again,
that
I
that's
do
great.
too.
Rather than have a random assortment of flavors, focus, so that the experience is evolving for the people that show up.
Yeah.
So they get a taste of everything.
Yeah, vegetable or herb garden, yogurt, who's putting it?
Yep.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
really yeah.
Yep.
And I just don't know, like you said, logistically, I don't know how that works. Do you put a tarp down? Do they do it on the grass? I mean, a tarp would just bring it out in a second.
Well, look at what happens at the Pequot Library Book Sale annually. They don't put tarps down,
No.
and that grass is still destroyed.
Yeah.
When they put
Yeah.
their big tents in,
Yeah.
it is what it is. You know. But
So-
maybe we have. You never know.
I could
You never
talk
know
to
until you
Scott
ask.
if-
Maybe we.
That's a
if they
yeah.
come-
Good place to start. Yeah.
He's
It's,
done something like this at Rock Center in New York.
Who?
And Oliver's.
Right.
And he would understand
Yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
it would take.
yeah, I think that's a
What
great
the
place to
impact is.
start.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just another idea too, and I don't know who would do this, is the Fairfield Garden Club has that colonial garden at Ogden House.
Yeah.
If there's someone that can do a colonial garden, I think
Right,
that's a
was-
really
that's kind
nice
of the raised
fit.
beds that Laura
Well,
mentioned, no?
It's a really nice fit with the
Sort of.
Burr, right?
Yeah, that could.
Like-
who would do it? What do you think?
I don't know.
Oh, in
I'm
other
just
words,
saying another
that-
theme.
Maybe one of the garden clubs would be
And and do we want to open it to the garden clubs?
But then, yeah, that's
I
a
don't
problem
see-
because
But
there's so many,
the funding of would be
and there are too many garden
expensive.
clubs, and then it looks like we'd be maybe exclusionary to the
I
Right.
think it's too expensive, and
Yeah.
it's so temporary.
Yeah,
Who would be
it
interested
makes
in
sense
that?
for a company
Yeah.
looking to sell something and promote it. That's good. I mean, we could also, the 40 square feet, 20 square feet, whatever that plot is that you can actually place on, we can make it mandatory. But when they pull up too, they have to resize.
Uh,
Yeah,
I also think this is an opportunity for us to show how much more alive the garden can be,
Thank you. I agree.
right?
I agree.
Like, even though it's not in line with our master plan doing
No,
this,
but
but
it's still-
putting a little bit of color and investment and
And
I see. Honestly,
it's a
I don't
win-win
see it
when
back
people
there.
see energy, the town sees energy.
Yeah.
It'll really go a long way to help our
I see
long-term
it off the
plans.
path. I see people being, because you have to figure out how people are going to move around. And I can see like giving this space, giving that space, giving these quadrants. You know, maybe just do 4 or 6 over there.
yeah.
Or maybe 1 over there. You know, you designate an area. And it can work that way.
No,
And then
that's
it's
a very good
traffic.
I like this idea a lot. If it logistically supports it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Maybe we even have someone like a vignette, like a gazebo, and it's set up, you know, over there somewhere.
If someone wants to bring that in, yeah.
Yeah.
I think working off the paths is great, but it's, you know, it's definitely.
We have, so I worked with, with the garden club, with the Bird Craft Museum. I was in charge of Mabel's garden, which is like the formalist garden. And at that time is when we hired Andrew Levinsky, who's this water feature guy, to do the waterfall. That waterfall wasn't there. It's a beautiful waterfall. And he actually ended up doing Lisa Callahan's little fountain area because she liked him so much. But
Is he still around?
oh yeah, and he actually, there might be a bitter pill here because I asked him to look at the pond, and he gave us a price to clean it up and get it going. And the town met with him and I, and the town went ahead and did it. Didn't ask me, didn't even tell me. What? Yeah, and they cut him right out, and he was, you know, that was too bad. So I don't know, but he could be someone that maybe could do a water feature. You know, like he could bring in something and do that. I don't know. There's a few people I know that could bring, like you said, the gazebo.
Like garden
Or,
features.
you know, can work around something like that. The thing is, this can get really big fast, and then it's going to be out of control. So I think, especially for the first one, maybe you just keep it really small.
Yeah.
And say that there can be a biannual thing when you can work it
Oh, you
up.
like a late spring, early summer, and then early fall. Not late September.
Biannual.
Oh, biannual.
Yeah, like every other year.
Yeah,
Like
right, yeah,
something
I
you-
agree.
you know,
I don't like the model itself.
The every year.
It tires
It's very
itself out.
boring.
Yeah.
It gets very boring.
Yeah. The museum came to that conclusion with their big event too.
Yeah.
That if you did this big
right,
expensive
right.
dinner every year, people get tired of it and don't want to come. But if you do it every other year, people are excited for it again. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think and you know, but a boutique would be so, you know, when you go to garden shows, flower shows, there's always a boutique and it's a big attraction.
There's your boutique.
That's a lot of work too.
Yes.
And you know,
What would
we've done it with the garden club.
What
where
would
we've
you
gotten
sell?
stuff. Unless you have consignment. If you buy stuff,
Then you get stuck with it.
Yeah.
So that's tricky. It's labor intensive. So
Sell
I would,
t-shirts.
yeah, I would say right now, you know, get a few vignettes out there, cocktails, preview parties, just to get our feet wet. And that could be a June event. And
Do you think we could do 4 vignettes?
I think the 4 here. And if you get someone, so I think these 4 would be really cool.
I think
Yeah.
we need 4.
Unless someone wanted the pond, like we could have them come and see, you know, what they could choose.
Right,
buy.
right, right.
But I would say Oliver's outdoor design, they might be committed already, you know, to Winds of the View. You know, that could be tricky, but Oliver's maybe native nursery
Right.
to do the pollinator thing. Possibly,
Ghanums? No?
Yes.
I feel like they're a local
They
Fairfield,
are very.
but they're not
I don't
extremely
know.
generous.
Creative.
I don't know about the creative side. Or
Okay.
what they would bring.
Okay.
Like Gilberti's. I was
Gilberti's,
My first
okay.
one, Oliver's Gilberti's, Native Nursery.
But if you approach someone that's kind of not that creative, so the company, if, as you said, you're creating the
Yeah, these other
concept.
nurseries aren't going to want to participate if I could just ask anybody. You know,
Yeah.
and you got to have
You want to curate
a
it.
certain
Okay.
caliber.
You think they don't want to feel superior?
No, they. Yeah, I would just want. I would want an even playing
Oh,
field.
yeah, you want it fair.
Okay.
That everybody is able to showcase
What they do well. Okay.
Yeah.
Colonial? Is Colonial too small? And are they
They will
also not creative?
They will
No.
not
Okay.
participate. I've asked them.
They won't.
They will not.
What about this Freddy's landscaping? I mean, is that more just they're doing big scale, stone-oriented projects? Yeah.
You know who would know? Again, Lisa Barton.
Yeah.
She knows a lot of the install companies from Greenwich. That is a good idea to supplement the nurseries. It might be another business that would like to participate in this kind of event. 'Cause
And maybe we don't ask Adams to do one of those things, but we ask them to provide plant material that we sell, and they're
Right.
pretty good about taking things back if they don't sell. No, Adams. I'm just saying.
Oh, you're saying yeah? I think it's a Freddy.
No. Yeah, Freddy's is just right on South Vincent. No, but maybe they provide plant material that we're able to try to sell.
Yeah.
And they're probably
I think we should be careful about not leaving people out.
Yeah,
So I think
that's
it's a
my
good
point,
idea
that
to see if we can include them
exclusively
in another way.
Yeah, that's an idea. That's an
Because you
idea.
don't want to alienate
Yeah.
I see that.
No, I
the
agree.
that are in there too.
And again, let's do it, offering companies an opportunity to do something that they'll shine.
Or maybe they set up the boutique with plants, and then we get a percentage
We
of what
split,
they sell.
Yeah. Well,
Like that.
or they.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I
So
think.
it really-
Do you want to ask? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think to start, do we want to ask Scott what this will take? Do you want to ask Scott at Oliver's
Yeah.
if we can, what this actually will?
If,
Yeah.
if he has any interest.
Do we
Yeah.
have a sense of the size, and we should probably size
Right.
it.
Yeah,
And
you know,
before we go
we could
deeper
just-
into this.
Yeah.
Outdoor too, because I know.
You've got to ask somebody
they're a
first.
lot
Right.
to see.
Yeah.
And I can talk to him and just say, we have this idea.
And what's the appetite? What's the
Yeah.
appetite? What do they think? What are the logistics?
Yeah.
What are the...
And if we're assuming that this might.
Sure.
Yeah, but that's Scott.
What? No, I don't know Scott. No.
He was sick for a while, wasn't he? He was also battling cancer for a while.
I did not know that.
Uh,
I did not know that.
as of a year or two ago. Well, I know.
Personal health. What?
We contain it within this.
Yeah.
The
It's a natural.
overall is at about approximately 400 square feet, so we'd say 300 square feet
300 square feet.
max.
I mean, they could just take a look at the area
Yeah.
and they could figure it out.
Right.
They could dig out what they wanted. But I think apartments.
Apartments,
See, these are
settings.
easy.
Yeah.
To get to those, you have to walk through. So I don't know how that would work. Or they can walk around. Anyway, I think it's a natural. Maybe just before it's done.
So, has Tara caught...
Is Tara still on?
Yeah, she is.
I'm so cold sitting on this.
I know. Do we want to try to wrap?
I'm not sitting on this still. So, yeah, I wouldn't use that back there. To me, that's just like
this?
la la
Sit on
land.
this.
These are like the
Might sit on
prime
the,
spots.
Here.
The
No, sit
sun.
on this.
Oh, thank you. You could bring my cookie next
I brought a towel from the car.
time. Oh, you're so smart.
So this is what we work towards.
Huh?
I think this is a really great plan to work
Yeah,
towards
it's
it.
Really good because
I love it. And it will reach every
really
audience.
fresh ideas.
It is. And this could be a cool little boutique area.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh.
exactly.
Yeah,
Oh.
really could.
Or like something someone
And
could
it
do,
could
and maybe
take
it's
away from
Ganum's,
there.
is host like a family planting event the next day, where like
Yes,
they
yes,
donate little
exactly.
pots and flowers for them for kids to plant and bring home.
But I do agree, trying not to alienate the, those
We
that
can
might
find-
be helpful to us
Right,
down the
right.
road.
True.
Yes, yeah.
Colonial, I've asked several times.
And they won't do it.
Their policy
Yeah.
is no.
I know Gadams has done things like for the Christmas tree
They do.
festival.
Yeah, they
They
do.
absolutely do.
And I do think that they're like a Fairfield institution, like whether they're right? I mean, I think people love
Yeah.
them. People that love them love them.
Yeah.
I want to say.
So,
And those are the local people. Those are the ones that you would think would
Well,
have.
they're large enough too that they would have a budget to promote themselves in that way.
And I think we probably should ask outdoor design because you know we have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I really want to, I want to develop and maintain a relationship with them. Because free is free.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't care
No, it's
who's
true.
giving it to.
It's true.
I think it's important. And he really is looking to expand this, expand his company's
Okay.
reach.
Good.
So, and he does such a different thing than Oliver's. It's a good, actually, I think they're good, in tandem because you wouldn't go to outdoor if you were, Oliver's does one thing and outdoor, if I want outdoor entertainment, I'm not going to go out.
We should be cognizant that every weekend in June will be booked for weddings. So I think as we think about this,
Oh my God.
I mean, do we have it open for the public during the day? But
But that would ruin the whole venue.
No.
For
Yeah, no.
weddings. Oh my
No.
God.
What's it cost to book for the
I
wedding?
wonder, just an
Why don't we
idea.
book it?
we book a weekend.
It's a wedding.
I bet they're booked out. I wonder
We
if,
could book it.
I mean, something to think about is what if we do like a launch on Sunday
I do what?
Oh, yeah, a launch on Sunday and have it open
for the week?
Thursday or something like that.
I don't know. I mean, if things stay the way they are and kids aren't in school full time and people are home still,
What is it?
like I don't know if it matters.
It's really cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, I would book it.
If we can get, a
They might have
June,
multiple weddings.
right.
So it could be like
There's a Friday, there might be a Friday booked and a Saturday booked.
Yeah.
I think we just have to think about it creatively.
Whoa,
I think we have the
whoa.
idea.
Don't ever, I never say no.
Okay.
About right now.
Well, something's happened to the computer again. We lost Tara. Did it maybe timed out? Timed out?
to our service.
Take the Friday and Saturday and Sunday. If Sunday's not booked, well, say we book it 3 days. We find it
I'm not getting
a
internet because I'm
corporate
pulling off of
sponsor
the
for
town.
the event or several.
That's what
and they
happened.
pay for it. You get them to sponsor the fees, cover the fees as sponsors of the event.
Well, we
So
should.
what
That's what
Shayna's
Southport
saying is she
Congregation
thinks
is
they're
good at.
probably all.
They're probably already booked.
Yeah, but with COVID, they probably got a lot of cancellations.
The other thing I wonder though is, do we have to pay the fees as a town entity?
We'd have to ask Jackie or.
Like, you have to pay the fees for the
I think,
film?
we just paid the cleaning fee, which we never got the cleaning fee. That was the arrangement last
Right,
time.
but they did initially request, I thought like a
Cleaning,
500.
no, $250 cleaning
Okay.
fee, but then they never
Charge
That's
you.
for the house.
because basically we
Yeah.
put everything back. And
Yeah.
Right.
I don't.
And they loaned us.
Maybe we don't need the house.
No.
No, you don't.
You know,
we don't need the house.
You don't need the house. You don't want the house. Exactly.
Right.
But they can't sell out, for a wedding and then have our event competing with the
Right.
house.
I mean, if the weather isn't with us, that's a problem.
Yeah.
You set everything up, and then what do you do?
Oh, but
Right.
it is a garden. It's not like a living room vignette. It's
I
a
know.
garden. So, bring an umbrella and walk through.
Yeah.
Nice warm.
Yeah, in the UK, if they planned on the weather being nice,
I know.
Right.
they would have,
Not that.
they would have lots of.
They'd have 3 events a year.
I know.
Okay.
They said there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad kids, meaning you're not prepared with your clothing.
Exactly.
Like you said, if we did Sunday, so let's say they're booked Friday, Saturday weddings, so we could do Sunday through Thursday.
But remember,
Gotta get a good
you
bit of
got a
weather.
problem there.
What?
You do.
Where?
For staging. If the event opened on a Sunday, they can't. They
That's
have
right.
to be. They have to.
That's right. They need a week.
They need a couple days.
Oh,
anyway.
you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you
They have
can't.
to. You have to give them a week to just.
Yeah, well, Southport, I know because I live across the street from them.
Oh, right, yeah.
I see how long it takes. They usually 2 to 3 days, depending on what, but minimum 2. If
Yeah.
you had to, you could probably force them and compress them into a 2-day slot. But yeah, Sunday will.
You know what?
It'd have to be a
It's not
week
viable.
event then.
It's not viable.
Unless we did it back here. Or off there.
No, but you know,
That I like better. This to me is just
he's hateful. I'm
It's
sorry I'm saying this.
what?
He's hateful. You know, he puts signs up when there's events here. He gardens closed, you know.
Yeah, it could be
And I told Randall,
it could be an issue.
because legally he's not allowed to do that.
I mean, we could do along there.
Right, but it just says
Yeah.
that his gardens have to be open all the time.
Yeah.
He has no right to secure them. when he
We're
goes-
still recording.
he brings bodies and walking in front.
I know, but you can't ruin somebody's wedding by
No.
Yeah.
It would almost need to be
We'd have
vetted by someone.
Yeah.
Like, so you know that there'll be these vignettes open on your wedding
Yeah, but
day.
they're already booked, so we would have to do it and figure out 2022.
Book out a weekend in 2022 is what
Yeah.
you're saying.
You know,
Or I'm laughing because. we
But
could
he
just
might get a
pull-
cancellation.
We can just pull out
You think they're
pull
already
a card
already-
out of.
I'm sure
like
there's
he
a
did
lot,
with the
there's a
floor,
lot roll, a
for the,
rollover.
he had a year's worth of contracts. And then he went back and assessed them $350 to pay for the floor. So he went after the fact.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, Allison may be able to call someone and say, if they're thinking of having these garden vignettes back here, does it impact your wedding?
Well, yeah, and it depends
And
if the
someone may
wedding's-
say, no, that's fine.
Right.
I mean, someone
And
might,
actually
they might.
be pretty enough interest for
Right, it's something else for people to look at during
I
the
would.
cocktail.
I know I wouldn't want. I'd be not happy. And I think this is a big area where they
Yeah,
take
they do.
photos.
Yeah. So maybe it is booking a weekend in 2022.
Wow. Shayna.
Sorry.
Yes. I mean,
Sorry to crush everyone.
dang.
yeah, but that's very yeah.
So, what you will call Allison.
See what the schedule is for next year, what
Yeah.
open weekends there are
Right.
in May, June, July, August. Just see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
September, May, June, July, August, September. See what,
The thing is, if they can book a wedding on Friday, 2 weddings on
A wedding on
they can't,
Saturday.
though. There's no way they can book two. There's no
do.
way you can,
They do.
They
How
do.
could
It's
they
usually
clear the
Friday and Saturday.
well, Saturday, but not two on Saturday.
No.
How could they clear the tent?
They do
No.
it longshore. They book them. They have 2 weddings on Saturdays. They're booked because of the cancellations this
Yeah,
year.
but Longshore has a
2021.
caterer, right?
The 2021, they're booked on Tuesday. They've got weddings
Every day,
throughout.
yeah.
But they don't know if they're actually going to happen.
Right.
People are booked solid.
I know.
Crazy is right.
I'll check, but I'm guessing that they're booked. But I'll ask Allison.
And ask her what the fee is for the book, for the, what, yeah.
I'm not gonna ask her
Yeah.
because I don't think we should have to pay it.
No, I know, I just want to know what
Oh.
they think they're losing. You know what I mean? I want
Oh
to
yeah. Oh, I
understand what.
It's public. We can get it online.
Okay, let's
yeah.
get it online, and then, I'll go and talk to Brenda.
Yeah.
Because,
All right. Do we want to close the meeting?
I
Let's close it. 9:13. Karen called to close it. Shayna seconded.
Yep.